thank you guys for coming. It's so hot out and you've chosen to be here, whether it's, for extra credit or for helping or you love someone who's involved. So, so can we just get a round of applause for that? Because that's awesome. Okay, so if you don't know me, I'm Shelby Coe. I'm an English teacher here at the FA, and this is my first year teaching here. And it's also our first year of Poetry Club. So we have been trying really hard to build a strong foundation for who we are and what we do, and we figured it out along the way and created something really beautiful. So before I get started, I just wanted to quickly give a shout out for Doug and Kat. They've helped us so much. It wouldn't be what it is without them. So tonight we're going to have a feature to start. Our friend Mackenzie is here. So we met him at Coffee and Coffee through the Lowell Poetry Wheel. And at the end, we'll have an open mic opportunity if anyone wants to step up and share. All right? So here's how it's going to go tonight. So we've got Mackenzie to start. We're going to have our Poetry Club do their poems. You'll see some both solo and group pieces. We're going to have some awards, which the kids have been really patient about. And then we'll finish with our open mic. Okay? So now that we all know what's going to happen, we're going to set some audience expectations. All right? So there's some rules here. So first of all, I want you to raise your hand if you've ever heard of spoken word poetry before. I would hope most people have, because I never stop talking about it. Okay. So, who's ever been to a poetry slam, a competition? You guys can raise your hands. Okay, great. So, whether you're new to this or not, I'm going to go over a couple of things. All right. So, number one, we have a mantra in our poetry community that says, "Don't be nice, be necessary." Okay. So there's going to be some things that come up in our poems that might be a little bit emotional, maybe a little heavy. So if you find that you need to take a step out, that's totally okay. We want to keep LHS a safe space and this community a safe space, and I know it will be. So let's just keep it real and really listen to each other today, all right? We have some snaps for that. I know it's hot. All right, cool. So another way to show love and encouragement as we're kind of connecting with each other is to snap, okay? So if you see the poet has, a really great line that you loved, or they need some encouragement, maybe they seem a little bit nervous, maybe you're just vibing with it, okay? So we're going to give them some snaps. So can we do some snaps really quick? Beautiful. All right. Now maybe someone just performed their heart out, okay? Let's have a clap for them. Right? You're yes, they did such a good job, right? Okay, so I don't know where your headspace is this Friday. It's hot, some people are cranky maybe because of the heat. I know it was like that today. But maybe you hear a line that really spoke to you. And I want you to think about if you were biting into the most delicious grilled cheese ever, right? You're going to go, right? So everyone throw me one of those. So you hear a line that's yeah, that was good, right? Throw me one of those, all right? So we're going to just get started. We're going to invite Mackenzie up on stage. So let's clap until he gets up on the stage.
Hey y'all, how we doing?
Good.
Yeah? So my name is Mackenzie. I am a member of the Mill City Slam team, part of the Lowell Poetry Wheel and the Untitled Open Mic. And I am actually relatively new to Lowell. I only moved here last year, but ever since I've been here, it's been great to be in community with all of the poets in Lowell and to get to interact with and see Shelby students, Lowell High School Poetry Club develop and really come together as poets. sharing your work and for being great and being awesome. I'm going to do a couple of poems, and then I will introduce the first poem in the set by the local high school, and then we'll go from there. Are we ready? You good? Yeah. All right. Awesome. Okay. I've been in a kind of a sciencey mood lately, and so I'm going to do a couple of poems that are a little science-based. I know. I saw them last night. This poem is about fruit and superstitions, and I like to think it's a bit of a hopeful poem. So, there's a superstition that says, do not point with your index finger at a fruit-bearing tree. If you do, that tree will bear good-for-nothing bad fruit. In an effort to encourage healthy eating, my love and I sign up for a produce delivery service. 1 week later, the first order arrives. We open the box, and inside is a circus of misshapen crops. 3-legged carrots, strawberries split like forked tongues, apples in mid-mitosis. My love explains that they are rejects, deemed unworthy of grocery stores and thrown into exile. We gather our outcasts and make a meal. And I think of all the times I have been called not good or not good enough, caught in the crosshairs of someone else's doubt, a seedless orchard or a grove or a drought in a grove called potential. And then I remember that I am as resilient as a fig, as defiant as a field of echinacea. I will wait for the rain to come, and if it doesn't, I will dare to grow anyway. Watch as I dig my feet into the dirt, taking water between my toes. Watch as I unfurl my arms to stuff fistfuls of sunlight into my mouth. Watch as I nourish and become nourishment. Watch. I have learned how to be my own harvest. Is the mic? Oh shit, yeah, the mic's working. Let's go. Okay, right. All right, so I'm going to do one more poem, and then I will introduce the first poem in the showcase. Thank you so much for listening to me. Thank you so much for coming out and supporting this club. It's very important to have poetry in the city and really for the youth to be engaging in poetry. So I'm so excited that that's happening. And yeah, thank you. So this is a poem about whales. This is like a poem that I wrote, and I was like, oh man, kind of like something of a scientist myself. I'm not a scientist, but you know, whenever I write sciencey poems, I get excited. Give myself a little pat on the shoulder. So this is about whales. A whale fall is a 3-step process in which a dead whale decomposes. It is said to take upwards of 100 years to complete. 1. To dwell on the dead does not always mean a descent into darkness. Sometimes it is a feast. For example, sleeper sharks will spend months taking their fill of a whale's corpse. You can call them scavengers, but scavenge is an ugly synonym for repurpose, for nourish, for take me into your mouth if it means I will stay a while longer. Hunger is how we remember what is gone. 2. No one knows what to call whale bones after dark, except for ravaged and empty and exposed, except for a more dead creature. Sometimes I am all for, desperate for a new pulse, but won't you call me home, if only for a moment? Won't you live in the ivory city of me? Won't you walk the downtown of my sternum, each rib a skyscraper, marking the names of all those I love, or a colony of light, like the fish that collect inside a whale after its meat is picked. 3, I don't believe in immortality, but I know how to live forever. When I'm gone, take my arms to your mouth.
May he taste the lovers I have held. Take my legs and my feet. May he taste the roads I have walked. Take my heart, this mess of muscle, engine of joy and shame. I hope that it is good, that it is not too tough on your teeth, that your jaw never aches, and that you will always wish for more. And when you are done, I hope that you can say, now that was a feast, a meal worth going to the bottom of the ocean. Thank you. Thank you. All right, so coming up next is going to be the first poem of the showcase, and it's going to be a group piece called Girl Code. Give it up for the group piece.
Chelsea. Oh my god, no way. Wasn't Shelby just walking in Nathan a couple days ago?
No. Didn't you hear? That was Jaden.
Hey Gigi, you didn't hear this from me, but Miriam was talking about you.
What did she say?
Hold on, she's calling me. Hello?
Oh my god, guess what I just found out? Gigi was flirting with your boyfriend.
What?
Wait, hold up. Hello?
Nellie's heard rumors that you were a cheater.
Huh?
Girls. We're just your typical girls.
We braid each other's hair and get our nails done.
We complain all the time over the tiniest things.
We obsess and fangirl over Tom
Andrew
Holland.
Garfield's better.
Anyways, we spend all our afternoons at the mall looking for the latest skincare.
We wear crop tops because we want attention. And I take forever to do my makeup.
But we're not just your typical girls. These are just stereotypes that you created for us.
Label society has smacked on.
Never asking if they were accurate.
Have you ever stopped to think about why we get our hair and nails done?
Why we wear crop tops?
Sometimes the salon is the only place we feel taken care of.
My style is what makes me feel good about myself.
And yet you still judge us.
We live in a world where you're in a position to make assumptions about me based off my hair, my nails, or just my choice of style. And it doesn't stop there.
You think it's okay to tell me that I look tired, like I'm not allowed to be. But we are tired. We're tired of being silenced every day.
When we try to speak out, we're told to chill.
Don't be so political.
Know your place.
But
our place is here. And we're going to stand our ground.
Because no matter what you choose to believe, we know are true.
We're not relentless, we're determined.
We're not naggy, we're persistent.
We're not emotional, we're passionate.
This is our reality.
And more of us should be standing together.
But with the society we have set into place, it's easy for even women to mistreat each other.
We share these experiences and still, it's easy to tear each other apart.
When we really need the support the most, we send it each other's way.
Calling each other ugly.
Annoying.
Delusional.
We all hold the responsibility that comes with girlhood.
To never apologize for being yourself. To step up and stand up for each other.
To support each other through breakups, rumors, and ugly comments.
To stop the gossip instead of fueling it.
And to set the example and pass it on.
To be the role models and the mentors for our little sisters.
So make the first step.
Put down that excessive ego.
And pick up the phone.
I'm sorry I spread that rumor.
I'm sorry I had to book that alone.
I'm sorry I wasn't their mediator friend.
I shouldn't have made everything about me.
Do you forgive me?
All right, so can we just have another round of applause for that real quick? So we're starting off real strong. So our first solo tonight is going to be Erin, all right? So tonight what you're going to see is me introduce each kid, tell you a little bit more about them and what their strengths are. So our first poet up for a solo piece is Erin. Okay, the best way I can describe her is that in our poetry meetings, she likes to sit back quietly, add some lines to the piece we're working on, and mostly observe. I always love to see her chuckle at our craziness. She's someone who is admittedly pretty shy. And I just want to take a minute to say that we're so glad that she has accepted us into her little circle of friends. We love Erin so much and are always blown away by her writing when she shares it. She's only been part of our group pieces so far, so she's never performed until right now. We're so excited for her to perform tonight. So with that being said, let's show a lot of love for Erin. So clap
I always feel like I'm split in half, feeling so proud at how much I know about English, but then stumbling around fine. Whenever I try to speak, the words hesitate in my mouth before clumsily, awkwardly tumbling out. I'm inadequate. I don't know enough. I'm not giving enough. Not enough about Buddha sutras to follow along with the monks at the local temple. Not enough to know about the back and forth steps of the Khmer dances at every wedding, event, and family gathering. Not enough to stop me from feeling guilty for neglecting to connect with my parents and grandma deeper than surface level. I owe a debt to my culture, my heritage, my ancestors for creating me. I'm not even bothering to learn the language they had once used. I want to make a deeper connection, to dig deeper into my roots, but questions like why now dig right back, twisting my stomach and stopping me. That's why I cling to my one lifeline of reassurance in the middle of a sea of doubt, shame, and self-consciousness, the one fragment of my answer's lifeblood that I know best. Food. The kind that tastes like home, that takes my American-born self and transports it to the loud and lively, sweltering hot streets of Cambodia. Because those small talks about our favorite meal from that Red Rose restaurant down the street, they give me life, affirmation, so that I know I have something in common with them. The other Cambodian kids beside the slant of our eyes, the few broken languages, few broken words of a language that I can actually pick up on and understand, that I feel like I should be fluent in when I'm not. And no, I don't know enough Khmer to compare to a 6-year-old kid's vocabulary, so insufficient that I can't get through a New Year's prayer without an adult's guidance. I don't know the names of virtually any relatives beyond my mom's generation. I don't know whether the dishes that I'm eating are Lao, Thai, Khmer, or Chinese. Heck, I don't even know what kind of Chinese I am. What I do know is the taste of my mom's bitter melon stir fries. I know the taste of the sweet, cold dagachu that we get every summer, laden with canned jackfruit, syrupy plum hearts, and red beans. The burning spiciness of local home, always chock full of juicy tomatoes, sour lime, and the mandatory pungent fish sauce when made right. The sweet and salty curry made with coconut milk, tested and proven tastes best with baguettes, and the taste of my grandma's sticky rice, questionably Chinese, lo mein, and beef noodle soup, along with the meals she spends hours preparing in the kitchen, using guesstimate recipes passed down from her mom and all the mothers before her. So, I may not know as much as I'd like, but for now, I think I know enough. I know. Taste of home.
Great job. Let's just give it up for Erin one more time. Great. All right, so we do have another solo, but I'm going to take the mic for a second. I have a poem that I wrote. I feel like this was one of our staple memories. When I got up at Coffee and Cotton and I read a poem about teaching. So I'm going to do that for you guys tonight because we have some really excellent staff members that have helped us. And I just kind of want to read this on behalf of myself and how much I love the kids, but also because I know that they would agree with a lot of the things that I've been saying in this poem. So, all right, it's called 713, which is the number of my classroom. Every teacher has that sacred space in their classroom, a place where if they ever get 5 minutes to themselves, they can breathe. Mine is behind my desk. I call it the wall, for the days when I'm really tempted to slam my head into one. An entire bulletin board plastered with cards, keepsakes, pictures of my students from the short time since I've started this career. It's always nice to know that they're there, right behind me, or more realistically, around the corner, up the stairs, or even in my classroom. We have 180 days to make a difference, to create, to teach meaningful lessons, to foster relationships, build communities. 180 days to be whatever they need, never expecting much in return. What they don't teach you in college is somewhere along the way you end up with family. A little home in the nook of your school, with 30 rotating faces, each set of kids changing at the bell, resembling little siblings, some new, some familiar, some even remind you of yourself. Maybe you are the person they need the way you needed someone back then. Maybe they're exactly what you need right now. In these past 2 years, the most valuable thing I've learned is that it's not just me that changes them, it's also them who change me. I believe that the universe sends the right people to you exactly when you need them, when you need support or when you need to learn something. Maybe those people will change the trajectory of your life, or simply remind you that you're on the right track, that the path you're on really is your purpose. A student taught me of a Portuguese word, saudade. It really has no English translation, but it basically is the feeling of missing something before it's gone. Both happy and sad, appreciative of what's in front of you, but longing for it to stay even before it's moved on. It's hard to find the words to describe how much I love my students, how much I hope they will grow into whatever they wish to be, that they remember the little things and they frame them in their minds. 10 years from now, we're all going to forget Tuesday's homework assignment, your mid-year grades, this year's schedule, but we're always going to remember the way we felt. The opening night of the spring musical, the moment you fell in love with spoken word poetry, all of the advice needed, the advice given, only some taken. I'll remember the times we showed up for each other, but most importantly, I'm always going to remember you. All 100 and something of you, not numbers, but names. And I hope that you'll remember me, because you'll always be in my sacred space, on the wall and in my heart. I'll be patiently waiting for the next achievement, the next update, the next hey miss, because while I may not always be front and center to watch you grow, I will always be rooting for you. I just love them so much. Okay, so here's our next solo. We've got Nick. All right. So Nick joined us back in February, kind of by accident, but then he grew to love us as much as we love him. If you didn't notice already, he's holding up the poetry club for all the guys out there. Yep, he does poetry and football. We've learned that he's got a lot of layers, and we are thankful that he's trusted us enough to show us the many sides of his personality while always keeping it 100. While he can have some pretty strong opinions and voices in which he voices very loudly in a very animated way, Nick really is one of the biggest peacekeepers in our group. He always has us laughing, and his personality has really been able to shine through more and more with every practice and every poem he's part of. All right, so let's hear it for Nick.
Hi, everybody. Home. About my grandma. No. Shout out to the Grams. I love my grandma. She's my childhood best friend. Every burning candle, every drama TV show, loving her more as I grow throughout the years. Knowing what I know now, I wish I could have told my 4-year-old self. The black hair, black eye, big nose addict isn't going to be much more. She's going to make life hard for you, and even harder for your dad. But that's not going to stop him from making the best life for you. Taking the broken bricks and rebuilding our house the only way he knows. Your grandmother becomes a cement that holds your house together. She'll become your biggest supporter, your best friend, your problem solver, and an even better parent than the one who left. She's stepping up, stepping into the market, while you're begging your dad not to go back to Afghanistan. While me and my sister try to weigh him down, all 80 of our pounds holding on to his legs, still not enough to make him stay. He left the rubble, the remnants of our home, for the ruins belonging to other families. But for us, my grandma was always there to rebuild the foundation, to make us breakfast, to stop the storm from crashing through our windows. When everything collapses, my grandma never fails to come alive. She's my keystone. The more weight, the stronger she gets, holding up all of life's problems. And I love her not just because she does my dishes or my laundry, but because she puts everybody before herself. Our home, our lives, wouldn't be the same without her. Without my keystone, my arch would collapse.
and only senior. So we found Krista as part of our Flex Block meetings. Thank God. We always say that we wish we could have met her sooner. She's been a fantastic role model for our team, which is predominantly freshmen, if you didn't know. Once Krista joined, it was obvious that she was a strong writer and performer. Kat and I can agree that a lot of the times we were workshopping with Krista, we weren't typically giving her notes. It was mostly all praise because she's just that inspiring, or as Nick would say, inspirational. It was clear from the beginning that she has a lot of heart in everything she does. On behalf of the team, I can say that we're absolutely blown away by her performance of the poem you're about to hear at the Mass Poetry Festival last month. Like, my jaw was on the ground. Like, seriously, it was amazing. We love how passionate she is, how brave she is, and her natural ability to use her voice to inspire positive change, both inside and outside of poetry. We love you so much, and we're going to miss you so much next year. We hope you'll come back and visit. Congratulations on graduating. You're going to do amazing things. So without further ado, here's Krista.
White America. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, for which it stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Justice for all? I stand in a nation where being black is a crime, where my people die every day and it's become the new normal, where we have to scream Black Lives Matter for them to hear us, and their reply is, all lives matter. Here in white America, we are seen as a threat and still defined by the color of our skin, as if the outer layer of pigment on the outside affects who we are on the inside. I live in a world where I am surrounded by white supremacy, where the very cops sworn to protect people who look like me are the ones hunting us down like animals. Here in white America, we take a knee to make a statement. That not all lives are treated equally, that a white man can shoot up a school and plead insanity, but a black boy with his hood on is seen as a threat, a thug, and a lowlife. Here in white America, my parents teach my brother not to go out during the night. Don't wear your hood, they tell him. Always look presentable. You can't just hang out everywhere. Don't make it easier for them to catch you. Why does our blackness offend you? Why is it so easy for my brothers and sisters to be murdered at your hands? Thousands, if not millions, of my people have been brutally murdered, seen as a threat. He said he couldn't breathe. And you still kneeled comfortably on his neck. The faith you must have had in the corrupted system that was built to kneel on the neck with cameras rolling to slowly take the life out of someone's child. I can't breathe, he said. I can't breathe. We can't breathe. You keep killing us, and we can't breathe. But here I am, still saying a pledge that I don't even believe in, hoping that maybe one day, just one day, the flag will hear our cries for liberty.
We're going to give you guys 10 minutes as a little intermission. Couple of things. Feel free to get something from our bake sale. My wonderful, wonderful students donated everything. Like, I didn't have to manage that at all, so I'm really thankful for them for making cookies and brownies and whatnot. On the back of your programs as well, just so you know, if you're interested in joining Poetry Club, we made a website, or you just want to fangirl over our website that I made, feel free. So 10 minutes, and then we'll keep rolling along. Go. welcome back. Hopefully you got some baked treats. They're all very good. So we've got countdown to start off. So let's welcome these poets back up to the stage. Woo!
Attention, attention, there is an intruder in the building. I repeat, an intruder in the building. This is not a drill.
Why?
Why me?
Why us?
Why this classroom?
I don't know whether to cry or scream.
We went from learning about our ABCs to how fast we can run when we hear a gunshot.
From an innocent so strong.
To being curled under a desk, thinking.
I want to go home.
I can't breathe, I can't breathe.
Well, when anything happens, I love you.
Why don't I feel safe in an environment where I'm supposed to feel welcomed?
My teacher lives a constant terror from the job that she once loved. Does she really need to hide a gun in her desk to make her feel safe?
How am I supposed to feel safe when we're taught how to hide from the shooter?
To grab our staplers and throw. Push as many desks against the door as possible.
Fight back against a man with a weapon with more power than paper clips can defend against.
I don't want to have to learn how to barricade doors and hide under desks.
I'm tired of going to assemblies and not seeing action.
Instead, my teachers are given magnets for hard lockdowns instead of laws that actually protect us.
They didn't sign up to be our security guards. I was sent here to learn, not to be in future generation school projects.
The best 4 years of your life being shattered from reality.
There is no future.
No prom.
No diploma.
You'll never come out the same after you leave the doors.
But I don't want to think about the ifs, ors, and maybes.
I don't want to have to live in constant fear. I always think it won't happen to me.
Until it does.
Each day, 12 children die from gun violence in America.
That's 2,250 kids since January 1st.
Guns are the leading cause of death among American children.
In the U.S., there have been 380 school shootings since 1999, the most recent 3 being in Nashville, Denver, and Arlington.
Doesn't matter where you are or who you are.
Again and again until the body counts and headlines just look like numbers.
But once upon a time, those numbers were kids.
Like us. They went to school to get an education.
Like us.
But unlike us, one unfortunate encounter with a gun took it all away.
Held in the hand of the murderers.
Regardless of why they chose to do what they've done.
Students are dying.
Even when their teachers are risking their lives for them.
Yet you have chosen to believe that there's nothing wrong with these behaviors, but we have chosen to believe that there needs to be change.
Enough is enough.
Do you have to have a gun pointed at you to decide to protest against weapons pointed at our students?
At my friends,
At your children,
At us. Attention, attention. The police are on site. They're apprehending. Quick. You've been practicing for this.
You have 5 seconds to make a decision.
5,
4,
3,
2,
1.
1. What are you going to do?
They're just so good. I can't get over it. Okay. All right. So our next poet up for a solo. Is it a solo next? Sorry, I'm being a bad person. Okay. All right. So the next person up for our solos is Nellie. So if you were to walk into our poetry meetings at any time, she usually is making somebody laugh. She's confident both on stage and off, to the point where she's pretty casual, even during competitions. Nellie's solo poem is really special to us as a team. It marked a lot of firsts for us. The first poem written, the first one workshopped, and ultimately the first one performed. I'll always remember the first time she got up to perform, where she conquered her fear of being on stage. We always knew she had it in her, but it was amazing to see her be the first one to develop her voice as a poet and really use it. Her performing it tonight really brings it all full circle, which is exactly what tonight is for. So let's hear it for Nellie.
I speak, you listen. I am big, you are small. I am mother, you are daughter. From the eyes of 17, August 11, 2008, 10:14 p.m. The moment that I changed from girl to woman. At 8 pounds and 10 ounces, the moment I snapped into love, reality, and responsibility. You are so small. My actions lead you to the woman you'll become. I do everything in my power to be good for you. I make sacrifices for you. I breathe for you. My blood, sweat, and tears are for you. You are worth the extra jobs, the stress over money, every party missed, every friend lost, every I can't go out tonight. I'll ensure that whatever I lay out for her will be bigger than I could have ever imagined for myself. Y mami, te quiero mucho, pero I want you to become a better me, towards the woman I am now, and away from the girl I was. To listen to the wise words that she never listened to grow from the ground that she had soiled, to not put water upon a plant that does not need watering, to flourish like the flowers that rose after being walked all over. I want you to not follow in her footsteps, but to use the opportunities you are gifted with to make a bigger imprint. The actions that you lead with will make me the woman I will become. The power that you held within every mishap to make it just good enough for me. The sacrifices you made for me. The water you tested to make sure it was safe. Your blood, sweat, and tears are for me. I have learned along the way with you. We may have different perspectives, but I know at the end of the day we're here for each other. Y quiero decir, mami, gracias por todo. Amo con todo.
I'm not even a parent and that makes me emotional. So I can only imagine how her mom feels. So, all right, our next poet up for a solo is Miriam. So Miriam started out as a quiet, good student. Now that we've come to the end of the year, I can confidently say that while she is still a very good student, she is absolutely not quiet in our poetry club. This girl has so much fire in her and is totally unafraid to honestly speak her mind, which is half the battle when you're writing this kind of stuff. She has helped us come up with so many quality lines and concepts for our poems, especially with Girl Code, which is where she really proved herself this year. She actually was one of our first members. We won't get into her little hiatus, but we were glad to have her back in time for our first competition. We're so glad to have her on our team. We love Miriam. Let's welcome her up.
This poem's called Nobody Notices. All over the place, I guess. Okay. Nobody notices. Nobody notices when a full face of makeup turns into mascara and lipstick. Nobody notices when full face snaps turn into black screens. There's no way people can be this oblivious. Or do they just not care? What happens when the talkative girl in class stops speaking? Or when the A's on the screen slowly fade to D's? How much more will it take for somebody to awake and realize she's not okay? What happens when the boy with a smile turns into a hooded figure with no face? Or when good morning miss becomes painful silence? Sometimes all we need is just a little bit of guidance. We're still kids, so why are we being treated like inmates for 6 hours straight? Why is it always, how are your grades? Or how's school, but never, are you okay? School shouldn't be the most tiring part of my day, because I used to love 6 a.m. The sunrise would bring a smile to anybody's face, but now tears start swelling when I hear the alarm go off. When did board games turn into textbooks? Or when recess turned into an escape? We are told school is not meant to be fun, that it'll help us in the long run, that it sucks for now, but when you graduate, it's worth it. But that reward shouldn't cost us suffering. Adults will warn you about the weight of textbooks on your shoulders, your backpack a ball and chain of unbearable pain, how if you don't carry them correctly, you could hurt yourself. Although no one has taught you how to distribute the burden. Instead, we are told to endure it and not ask any questions. School is not so hard. We'll get used to it. It's been almost 9 years, and I still have yet to adapt. How much more can we take? We are not okay. When will you finally notice us? What do we have to say, have to do, for you to hear us, and finally decide to listen? Because we are just children.
Imagine you're a kid in a theme park. Parents holding their kids' hands too tight so they don't get lost.
And in the mix of people, with so much happening at once, yours lets go.
And for a moment, everything stops. You're searching for your parent in a sea of t-shirts, holding back the ocean that wants to come up your tears.
Frantically searching for what's missing, who's missing, hoping you'll find them or they'll come back to you.
Trying to remember what they were the last time you saw them.
Trying to remember what they do.
Trying to remember who they are as a person. That's how we feel. We try to climb above the emotions, the disappointment, the fear, the thoughts, because the people we wonder about leave us wondering.
Leaving our minds, wandering, wishing for something that will never happen.
I wish she could show up for my kids and for us to have our dance.
I wish she was there for all the football games.
I wish my mom didn't have to go through things alone. The bill she had trouble paying, the event she couldn't go through, all the jobs she'd take on.
I wish she was there to help me divide fractions.
I wish I knew what his expectations were so I could live up to them.
I wish she was there to see me grow up. I wish I could explain the sudden feeling, I wish I could explain the feelings I get when I try to make sense of it.
Because every time I do, it hurts to remember. When all you have is stories to go off of.
Memories you've been trying to forget.
And the kids don't understand when they make fun of you for only having a parent. And you try to explain it, but how can you describe your father passing away?
Your mom being an addict.
When you don't remember because you can't?
Or you remember what you wish you knew.
Either way, it hurts.
Either way, it goes.
It hurts to remember the times lost, the memories not made, the stories that can't be told.
But at least we can find comfort in knowing this is a relatable experience. That we aren't alone. That we can be the support and comfort to each other.
Knowing if I need to, I can go to you when I'm low. That you'd be the voice that I needed to say,
It's okay. I got you.
I'm proud of you.
You'll get through this.
I'm always here for you. Sometimes it feels like you're alone in a crowd where no one can really see you or understand what you're going through.
While your experiences may be different, there will always be people that feel the same. And in that crowd,
Those people will always find you.
That poem really showcases what this is all about, which is really amazing. So next up, this is our last solo of the night, and then we've got a grand finale that I don't even know about myself. And then we've got some awards, so we're nearing the end, all right? So we've got Gigi, okay? Gigi is positive, kind, and smart. She's the type of person to go out of her way to make others feel welcome and comfortable the instant you meet her. When we first met Gigi, she was a writing machine, constantly writing poems and challenging herself to push her boundaries with her style of writing and being vulnerable and real with her emotions to put them on paper. The way that Gigi writes makes vulnerability look easy, as she typically navigates her emotions with grace. It goes without saying that her moral compass is strong and centers our group at times, which makes sense that she is such a valued member of her church. We are so proud of her for opening up tonight in her solo poem, and we hope that you love her as much as we do.
Hi guys. Hi. This poem is based on my condition, which is epilepsy, and I just wanted to inform how it feels like since there's not a lot of information on it. 1 in 3.4 million, but the weight falls the heaviest on my chest. I'm not trying to be selfish, but that's how it feels like when the world is twirling 30 miles per minute. My consciousness is surely leaving. I don't usually feel human on this earth, but when I'm gasping for a breath, I appreciate air the most. I feel sick. Sick to my stomach. My throat's clogged, my world is spinning, and no one notices. I go unnoticed. I crawl on the floor, reaching for that breath that is running away. The light is bright, my eyes are too heavy and are fluttering slowly. Oh no, not again, please. Not now, especially not here. I shut my eyes, but that's all that comes to my mind. I can't breathe, I can't think, I can't see, I want my mom, I want to sleep. I'm tired. It's excessive and abnormal. It's a permanent injury to my self-esteem, and me as a whole, me as me. I'm fine, or at least that's what I say. Matter of fact, that's what everyone that knows says or acts. She says you're fine, you're healed. But am I really? Am I really when I'm the one being in chokehold fighting back my tears? I'm the desert heat and the Arctic freeze, imbalance disrupted sudden? How am I supposed to be confident when I am on average expected to survive 10 to 12 fewer years than those who don't have it? These out-of-body feelings, they're not on-earth feelings. It's devastating that people like me are overlooked. Yet on a daily basis, I'm forgetting what's happening in the moment, not remembering the easy things I'm supposed to know. The many hours of sleep, catching up and recovering from that scary dream, but it's not a dream. I'm living it. I know this feeling, it's embarrassing. It's not okay to not know if I'm gonna wake up tomorrow. If I'm going to be able to enjoy the simple things of life that don't even matter. So I stare at the darkness, deep in thought. I can't move, I'm stuck in this four-sided box. Seeing double vision of you, but it's typical. Feeling drained and weak, I'm confused. Was I supposed to be this way? But I guess this is only a temporary paralysis, till I return to my usual self, whatever that is anyways.
So for real, I've never heard this. So I'm excited.
Poetry is
Poetry was just something I did in English class.
another requirement needing to be completed.
Dull and unfulfilling.
Caged in and put into a box filled with words I can't even comprehend.
Repeated phrases, endless rhymes, repetition.
It was no longer just rhymes and structures. It was turned into free writing and emotions written on paper. Words fulfilling because I love them.
I didn't know I could ever even like it. Despite the seminary split, I did. I stayed. And I formed the connection I have with these people.
At first, I was shy, nervous, and even anxious, not knowing my words could have meaning, not knowing I could have an impact.
I was a bit intimidated, more intrigued. I used to think it was going to be dull, sort of like an extra English class. Thought I'd get stage fright and chicken out, but I didn't.
When I was first introduced to the idea of poetry, I was embarrassed to say I liked it even the slightest. Thought it was uncommon or weird, like something that others disliked so much.
In the beginning, I thought it was boring, hard, even dumb. But I realize now I can say so clearly that poetry isn't any of that.
I just needed to escape for the little 45 minutes given to us. Now here I am, part of this little family. I didn't expect to feel so at home.
Coffee and Cotton was the first place I fell in love with poetry. People explaining their feelings through words and body language, showing how much aptitude they had in their poems.
Going into Coffee and Cotton, I learned more than any English class could ever teach me. Poetry can be hype, it can be passionate. And it felt like less supplementary lessons and more like I was growing close to people in a warm community.
Growing from just an after-school club into a tight band.
The complexity of spoken word poetry led me to not only like it, but learn to love it.
It's unreal when you actually write and perform it. Different people feel different things. For me, it's a gateway.
Getting into the poetry scene was an irreplaceable experience. It was the bridge that connected the voices of so many different people to mine.
It may seem whack, but we love poetry.
We believe poetry comes mostly from the heart.
And that's why poetry is important.
Poetry came by like an accident to us. So unexpected.
But instead, filled us with happiness and lifelong lessons.
Poetry is a song of the heart. It beats continuously on and on.
And although we hate rhymes,
This is going to be our last time.
Together, performing like this.
Before we go,
We just want to say,
thank you, Co.
I'm crying. That was so cute. All right. All right, the last part, all right? We've got, I'm just gonna full send this on the board, let it go where it wants. Okay, so that was like a half cent. All right, so, thanks. All right, so we've got 3 awards tonight, okay? These kids don't even know what they are. So most of you guys know I'm really bad at keeping secrets, but I was really good at this, okay? So our first award is going to be Most Improved. And I do have flowers for people, so once you're on stage, don't leave so I can get them. Okay. The poet who received the Most Improved award took a chance on poetry by attending one of our early open mic events at Coffee and Cotton. I had the privilege of sitting beside them that night, and I saw their guard come down and their eyes light up when the first poet took the stage. This quickly became one of my favorite moments from this year, which was sitting next to Nick Park and having him turn to me and say with so much enthusiasm, I'm gonna swear, that shit was fire. A classic Nick Park response. I knew then we had to get him into our club because the look on his face was something really special. At first, Nick was hesitant to take the leap into writing, but pushed through and has written 2 beautiful pieces this year. Nick has spent countless lunches, like every day, and extra time after school with me writing, revising, even memorizing his poems. Beyond his dedication and hard work, what truly stands out is Nick's character. Nick is a strong, charismatic young man who has transformed his adversities into something special. It has been an honor to witness someone who is so typically reserved about their emotions embrace vulnerability and open up, not only to our group but to a larger audience, even reluctant classmates that have become respectful towards poetry because of his dedication to it. We're so lucky to have Nick as our hype man. He has grown so much as a person and poet. We couldn't be more proud of him. He's embodied growth and resilience in more ways than one, and because of that, we're so happy to award the title of Most Improved to Nick. We love him. I have a certificate for you. Wow. It is inspirational. I'll give you flowers. For you, yeah. So here, I'll get them now. I'll get the lights now. We're kind of casual here, but it's fine. All right, there's the one. So safety first, okay? I don't want to blow you. So, all right. Beautiful. Now we've got our next one. Okay, this award is Most Dedicated. At the start of the year, the student told me how excited they were to potentially join a number of clubs. I really wanted to run a poetry club and asked them if they would try it out. Knowing that this student was a strong writer with strong feelings and opinions, they joined as a favor. For those of you who don't know, I've had the privilege of being Nellie's teacher for 2 years now. Last year at the Wang and this year at LHS. I have seen her in leadership roles in her 8th grade year, but I have never seen her take command of something the way she does in poetry. Nellie takes on a leadership role as a communicator and mentors to others on our team, making her a great role model. Whether it's staying for extra rehearsals, encouraging members to write when they're struggling, or offering me help, literally all the time, it is clear that we can always count on her. We love and appreciate everything she does for our little family. I don't think anyone would argue with the fact that she really is the heart and soul of our team. With that being said, Nellie's a hard worker. She has a perfect attendance to our practices, sometimes being the only member there, and has performed in every open mic and performance we have been in since the start. Her newfound confidence for this writing is obvious. She went from being terrified at her first open mic to literally making jokes with the audience during the biggest competition we've been in this year. She was like, hey guys, so I'm like, Nellie, reel it in. She has really found her own way with poetry and is gaining confidence in her own voice and style of writing. So wanted to dedicate this award to Nellie. Not only she goes above and beyond with the responsibility she accepts, but she's directly responsible for the success of our club this year and has been truly passionate in her efforts to be part of building its foundation and our vision for the future. With that being said, she's become a true leader and a core member of our club, and for that, we want to give her our most dedicated. All right, got one more. I might cry with this one, so just a heads up. Okay, so raise your hand if you're one of my students. Raise your hand if you've ever heard me mention my high school drama teacher. Okay. So this award is called the Nancy Lemoyne Award. I don't even know if I can officially do this, but I'm doing it. So now you're probably thinking, who the heck is Nancy Lemoyne? So the idea for this award was inspired by my high school drama teacher. In her lifetime, she demonstrated unwavering kindness, perseverance, and leadership while creating a safe space for my peers and I to express ourselves. She truly made an impact on so many of us and inspired me to be a teacher. I want to honor her impact, I want to honor her impact by honoring a student who positively influences those around them just as she did. So this award, I know, stop looking at me. So this award is going to be given to the student who embodies the spirit of the Poetry Club and inspires others to pursue their creative passions with dedication, kindness, and integrity. Someone who's a model for the attitude we want here in the Poetry Club, who will set the example for others when it comes to keeping our space safe in order for all of us to grow as writers and people. With that being said, it's no surprise that Gigi is the member of our group with the strongest moral compass. She constantly leads with kindness and good intentions. She has been an integral member of the group since the beginning. She was able to prove that she has passion when she performs and has found power with her voice, while also empowering the voices of others. When writing group pieces, she is able to take a leadership position on poems while also knowing when to step back and allow others to take space. She's accepting of everyone and very encouraging to new members. Gigi makes sure that when collaborating with others that everyone is heard. She collaborates while being kind and maintaining empathy. She's able to push other writers to reach outside their comfort zones in order to create something meaningful. Her perseverance is commendable. She writes about things that people are afraid to. She isn't afraid to be vulnerable, even if it means that her words could help someone, and we saw that tonight. She's humble and sets an example of what poetry community should look like. We're so blessed to have worked with Gigi this year. So with that being said, we give the Nancy Lemoyne Award to her, as she's proven herself as a skilled writer and has demonstrated her ability to be kind, empathetic, and fair, which results in why our poetry community continues to be a safe, supportive, and thriving environment, just like what my drama teacher offered me when I was a teenager. We love you. Nelly, I didn't even give you your award. Why did you not say anything? I was just so emotional. I just forgot. Hold on, I apologize. Okay. Oh, sorry. Love you. Alright, so that's gonna be it, unless people want to do anything for an open mic. Is there anyone who's interested? I know it's kind of intimidating to like jump up here, but anyone? Any takers? You wanna go? I love that. Are they serious?
Yeah.
Yeah, come on up if you have something.
1 second.
We'll give them a minute. Talk amongst yourselves. I love that. You have it? I know you. That's amazing. Come on up. Welcome to the band.
Hey guys. Congratulations on your awards. I am the camera guy. That's all you guys have to know. Okay. I'm Hispanic. I love Hispanic food. So I also love my mom just as much. So this is for her. My dearest mother, by me and Empanada. I do not mean to bother. The happiness it will bring. 225 does not stare. My dearest mother, I don't mean to bother. Don't forget the salsa. You know I like to eat. I really love the Spanish treat. My dearest mother, I do not mean to bother. Get me a drink, please? It will put my sickness to ease. My dearest mother, buy me an empanada. I do not mean to bother. Thank you.
Wow. We're really bringing Can we also just thank everyone who came to help us today? If you saw people out in the house, you saw people here videotaping, doing open mics, thank you for joining us. Okay, last call. Is there anyone else that wants to share? Anyone have an extra poem that they want to share? I know it's hot, so I don't want to keep people here, but anyone super inclined? No? Okay, so in conclusion, no. They're both like, okay, so in conclusion, thank you guys so much, seriously. It was so hot in here. I hope you were inspired in some way. Poetry is so important for young people to be part of. Arts are so important for people to be part of. And you know, I love all the kids and they're great. So I hope that you follow us. We have a website. It's on the back of your program. So if you want to see what events we're doing next, take a look-see. Go be in the air conditioning. Thank you.